Hey, future Matt.
Hey, future Destin.
Yeah, thanks for hopping on and letting me record this. I just want to say sorry for the quality of the audio in what you're about to listen to, but I wanted to explain it for the third chair.
All right.
Something huge happened in your life.
Yeah, huge and exciting and good.
Yeah, and I was, I was on travel for like a month in different countries, and we happened to have a small opportunity where we had a decent connection via WhatsApp, and the only way I had to record was strapping a mic to myself. But I wanted to get those raw emotions for what was going on in your life, and I also wanted to tell you a really funny story. So I just went for it, and I don't know. Was the audio bad on your side?
Oh, it was goofy. It sounded very, very authentic. If you weren't in Costa Rica and you faked that, I just want to give you mad props for your sound design skills. But I sensed you were actually there because the way you talked with me was different than, well, it's how we talk when we're in other countries. You're kind of stalling a little bit in the story to get to somewhere where you think I can hear you better or where you'll be less interrupted. So no, I could pretty much picture what was happening the whole time.
I was walking around the streets because I didn't want to wake my family up, and but I was offered drugs while we were on the phone. This was
congrats, man.
This was legit. I said no again.
Oh.
Always say no.
Well, I respect that.
Anyway, so this is a huge conversation. I wanted to record it. It's a big moment in our friendship. Something big's happening to you, and I had a really funny story to tell you, and I just want to share it with you. So. Thanks for letting me just turn on mics. Let's do it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty fun. Let's get after it.
Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's going on?
I'm sorry, I have the best story ever. Is life okay? Do you have a second to talk?
Yes. Yes, I do. The urgency with which you have been texting me for the last hour. I feel bad it's taken me this long to get to a microphone and a phone, but I'm here now for you. What is going on?
Okay, so I'm in Costa Rica, right?
Right.
So something happened tonight.
It's only funny because of how you're laughing.
What'd you say? We're not bad parents. Okay, so here's the deal. I'm in Costa Rica. I'm in a town called Tamarindo. I've got an absolutely ridiculous audio setup. I've got things taped to me, and I have all kinds of recording gear that I didn't mean to have. And when you and I are talking on WhatsApp, and you're recording on your side, right?
Yes, I'm recording on my side. And so you've been wearing that around for the last hour, waiting for me to get to a phone to call you? Just in case I called?
Yes. 15 minutes, yes. Okay.
I should have waited longer.
So,
what happened?
Something happened tonight. Okay, so we're doing this language school, right?
Yeah.
And it's great. Oh, by the way, there's going to be all kinds of street noise in Costa Rica. Just use your imaginations. I also have a GoPro on my head just to record where I'm walking for the YouTube channel version of this. So we have made friends in our class with this British couple, and they're just amazing people. He's a doctor. She works for television over there, and they have 3 kids, and we have 3 of our kids here with us. And they just really hit it off.
Okay.
So, getting passed by a car here. We decided we should go eat dinner at night together. And we're like, well, how do we do this? Do we want to go to somebody's apartment and let the kids swim? Because you've done dinner with kids, right? Yeah, it's not the best experience. Just everybody's sitting at the table and the kids.
You try hard,
restless.
but it's not right.
It's just not right. So we're an hour and a half into the meal. The kids are playing on the beach. The waiter comes to the table and he says, "Hey man, where are your kids?" Oh, they're just playing right over there on the beach. He goes, "Where?" We said, "They're playing right there." And we gesture over to the beach and they're just not there. They're just not there. and he goes, "Oh, this is Costa Rica. I mean, it's a pretty cool town, but you always have your kids where you can see them." He's like, "Don't leave your kids alone. Go make sure you can see them."
It's nice you're having this conversation with him, but where are your kids?
Oh, they're on the beach, obviously.
So you can
That's where
see
we told
them
him.
Somewhere?
No, we couldn't see them. They're just on the beach. Okay, it's dark at night.
But the
I'll
beach
just
is
walk to the place.
big concept. I mean, the beach is like the entire coastline.
No gracias. Yeah, the beach is it's the freaking Pacific Ocean, right? And so I'm walking to the place right now, actually. So there'll be a video you can watch later of where it is.
Okay.
So we all look at each other like, oh wow, he sounded serious, right? So we look at each other and I said, I got it. And so the couple's like, you sure? I was like, yeah, I got this, no problem. So I get up and I walk out to the beach and I look left and I look right, and way off in the distance, I see a little flashlight to the left. And I start walking to the flashlight. And I get closer and closer, and it's the girls. And they're looking for crabs at night, right? It's just what you do at the beach, right?
Okay.
I'm like, oh, this is sweet and innocent. The waiter made it sound like, they were in great peril immediately. And so I get my daughter, who and their youngest kid, which is a lovely young girl. She's probably 6 or 7. She's just cute as can be, with her little British accent, and they're just lovely. And so I get them and I say, hey, run on back up there near where we are so we can see you, no problem. And I turn around and I go to find the boys, and they are in the opposite direction. And they are much farther down the beach. I'm like, oh dang, they're a long way away. And so I start going in that direction, and I notice there's 3 boys. It's 4 boys, 2 of my sons, 2 of their sons, and they're crowded around this man who's kneeling down, like like in a beach town you got like the village drunk kind of person.
Oh yeah.
Well, he wasn't the village drunk, but this is what he looked like. He looked like the village drunk, right? And so I get about halfway there, there's music playing. Can you hear the music behind me right now?
Yeah, I can hear the ambience.
Okay, it's there. The music is playing. There's the beach in front of me right now. El Mar, right, is right in front of me. And so they were way down there to the last light. I'm actually pointing right now. You'll be able to see it later in the video, maybe if the GoPro can pick it up. But we were eating way down there. It makes sense if you see what I'm pointing at. And so I start picking up my steam a little bit. I'm like, what is this man trying to do to our children? And so I get closer and closer. I said, hey! And I call out my son's name in the way that you have the tone, right? You know the tone.
Oh, yep, it's assertive. So you went with that one.
I went with that one. And it was
the bark.
I demand your attention immediately. And I said, come here. And so it got my son and this other guy's sons. And my son just breaks lock. I mean, he was right face to face with this guy. He could have been buying cocaine from this guy, right? Which, okay. You laugh. I've been offered it 5 times since I've been here.
I've spent a lot of time in Latin America. I understand the drill.
Yeah. So in my mind, he's buying drugs. This guy's about to throw him in a van, something like that. And he runs over to me, and I said, hey, what were you doing? And he said, I was trying to sell that guy a crab. He was trying to sell the guy a crab.
The town drunk.
No, my son was trying to sell this guy a crab.
Yeah, but who was the guy? He's
I have no idea who he was.
Some poor Spanish-speaking man in Costa Rica?
Yeah, it was probably a village elder who was out doing something honorable for the community or something. My son's trying to hey man, want to buy a crab? With these British friends he just made. And
did the guy buy it?
No, this is what I gotta know. In this moment, in this moment, you are a parent, right? You have one shot at getting this right?
Yeah.
You just tried to find your son. You were scared. He was in danger. The first thing out of his mouth is, I was trying to sell that guy a crab. What is your immediate response?
Ice cream is for closers. Get back over there and finish that deal.
Okay, so I said, well, did he buy it?
That's exactly
no.
the right question.
He's like, you gotta understand, I was in fear mode, right? And I was like, well, did he buy the crab? He's like, no. And he thinks he's in trouble. And I was like, how did you do it? And he's like, well, I mean, I was having trouble because, you know, my English and I speak Spanish, but not good enough. And I said, you're trying to sell the crab in Spanish? He goes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. He was trying to sell this guy crab in Spanish. And I was like,
in 2 days of practice Spanish?
4, mind you. 4, Whitman. And he was selling this dude a crab, and I've never been so proud of my son in my entire life. I armed this young, developing heart with what were the goals of this trip? We talked about this. Well, I want him to see the world as a bigger place, and I want him to not be afraid, and I want him to learn that language is important. And, you know, I've been teaching him about the free market, and I've been teaching him about, like, hey, you know, these people are going to try to take advantage of you, but don't let them take advantage of you. They want you to buy a whistle. Don't buy a whistle.
You just mean the market of, like, bartering and all the stuff that happens?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I turn him loose, and he gets his international friends that he just makes, and he uses the broken Spanish I've armed him with, and he goes and he tries to start a free market for crabs on the beach. And I said, well, did he buy your crab? No. Well, why? Well, I mean, we started in Spanish, but my Spanish isn't that good. We got pretty far, but my friend, you know, he asked him if he spoke English, and he spoke a little English, and so we kept asking, you know, and it just didn't work out. I mean, then you came over, you kind of broke the deal up, and I was just like, I'm so proud of my son. I wanted to tell you this.
So what happened? And then was the guy gone by now, or was he still waiting to find out if there would be a better offer?
Well, they ran away. They ran away. Yeah, no, he was still negotiating, and I said, well, why didn't he buy it? And he said, I think there's just so many crabs on the beach that he didn't want it.
Oh, supply and demand.
Yeah, exactly.
That's truth.
Oh,
that's the truest truth. Supply and demand.
So here's the part that I deuced it up, man. And I gotta know, you know, I get the kids back over to the quote unquote safe area. Obviously they were in control of the situation, right?
Obviously.
So I'm asking, like, you know, what's the deal? What's going on? And, you know, we just kind of lay low. We don't bring it up in front of everybody. We get home and I start asking him what's going on. I said, buddy, I'm proud of you. You know, that was very interesting what you were doing there. And I was trying to keep a straight face the whole time. And I asked him, I was like, well, I mean, how much were you trying to get out of that dude? And he kind of smirked. I was like, son, how much were you trying to get out of that dude? And he said, 500 colones.
Wait. How much is that?
That's $1. But as soon as he said it, I broke and I started laughing hysterically to the point where I was crying. Like I was like tears streaming down my face of joy. I was proud of him, and just like the fact that I started laughing, it upset him. Like he didn't know if he was in trouble.
What?
And like, I know, man. I feel like I messed this up, dude. And so it upset him. He got sad and, you know, went up to his room pouty and stuff. And this is the part I don't know, man. How do you do this?
Like, how do you go up there right now?
He's asleep. I don't know. They were overtired and everything. But have you ever deuced something up like this?
No, I don't really do that. But I'm around a lot of people who do make mistakes.
His face when he said 500 colones, like, duh, Dad, that's the market value for a crab. I just made it up. Duh. So you can't do anything with less than 500 colones, man. Come on. Golly, the guy was sitting down. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I have these moments where you just feel heartbreak because there's like a thing happened and you can't duplicate the thing and you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube and you got the one play at it and you didn't get it right. I've got a couple like that. We talked about one last night driving home. My wife and I, we have this this log cabin style rug. It's like perfect for a log home, and we've always had it. Like even when we lived in an apartment in Chicago, we have this log cabin moose rug, and it's stupid. It's from Shopko. It was half off. It's not nice, but I love it. And probably the third house that we had it in, the girls were real little, and my youngest couldn't have been quite 2, and we were painting a wall, and she just didn't understand how paint worked, and she just took a can of paint and she just dumped it on my beloved moose rug. And I don't do the temper freak out thing, but my body language was obviously not positive, and I was kind of frustrated, and I think I maybe even did a little bit of like the grind your teeth thing, and she could tell she got it wrong. And she just disappeared into the other room, and my heart broke, and I thought, well, I should go get her. And Camilla kind of gave me the give it a minute thing. I was like, I didn't really understand, but it was only about a minute. And she comes back out in the little Princess Fairy outfit that she knows was my favorite thing that she could put on. She's got her little Princess Fairy outfit.
No,
with the wings.
she doesn't.
She's strapped on the wings, and she has a wand. And she
did not come fix you with the wand. She didn't. Don't do this to me.
No, she didn't fix me. She fixed the moose rug. She went to the moose rug.
Oh, God.
And she just waved her wand around at the paint on the moose rug, and she's crying and waving her wand and looking so sad and serious. And it was in that moment that I went from oh, I have a daughter and I automatically love her and this is great, to you have my heart forever and ever. I will always be squishy toward you. I love you so much. It was the most overwhelming moment of
Was it her idea?
This up. It was her idea. She just went and did it because she knows that I love that outfit, and she also thought maybe it possessed some magical properties. It's as quick as your heart can go from angry over stupid things that don't matter to the softest your heart will ever be in your whole life. So yes, I've deuced it up. But my solution was stand there and do nothing while my 2-year-old teaches me lessons about how to be a better dad and a better human. Was that helpful at all?
Oh, I mean, you certainly understand the emotions I'm feeling because, you weren't angry. I mean, there were different emotions to begin with. Like, with you, it's like, oh, man, this thing that can't be fixed just happened. But with me, it was like fear, right? Like danger, peligroso.
Sure.
I was like, what's going on? Protect the younglings. What do we do here kind of thing. And then it went from you're in danger to, oh, you're actually kind of all right, like instantly, right? So there are different things there, but I'm sorry, I'm just navigating some things here. Yeah, so it was just, I don't know, that moment where I had to make a decision about what to do when he told me he was selling crabs. I don't know if it was my tone before that moment that was bad or what the deal was, but I've certainly got to fix something.
You've heard the new soda can analogy that people are using when it comes to kids and their brains?
No.
Oh, yeah, this is good. The idea is, you got a soda can and you gradually shake it up all day with activities and stuff that you do, and you're dragging the kids around in the car and you're talking to them about hard things and you're playing ball together, and just they're under pressure. Maybe they didn't do this or that thing quite right and they get corrected, but you don't have time to round it all the way out, and there's just a certain degree of pressure and tired and hungry, and then something that doesn't matter at all happens, and boom, the soda can gets open and it kind of fizzes out for a while, and you just kind of have to wait until that rush of fizz is over, and then you can kind of make things better. But there's not much you can do when the fizz is exploding. That's kind of the idea, that kids kind of get that way. And as adults, it's worse when we get to the soda can explosion level. Usually we kind of mitigate that a little bit more because we recognize the symptoms. And I have seen that in especially the girls, not as much the little guy, where they'll just get to this place of, we had too much fun today, I met too many new people, I took in too many new things, I ate too much new food, I'm in a different place, I kind of miss home, I love being here also, I have hormones because I'm a pre-teenager and I don't know what to do with that quite yet, and then just boom, nothing happens, and there goes the soda can opening, and then it tames back down. But I find that if I try to do stuff about it during the soda can moment, it doesn't really get better. And if we wait until the fizz is done fizzing, then I can make it better. But for the longest time, I would try to get right in there and be like, hey, you have an opportunity right now to learn how to not lose your head. And that worked when they were younger, and I'm glad I taught it to them when they were younger.
Gracias.
But now that, they're getting a little bit older, I just have to love them and be patient. And then we have the debriefing a little bit later on, and we're level-headed enough to figure it out. So, obviously, the circumstances have already, played out that way, that this conversation is going to happen tomorrow. What are you going to tell him?
I haven't handled it very well because I really want to fix it now, but he was clearly too tired to fix it now. He wasn't able to pick up on all my social cues. By the way, I've accidentally walked to the loudest area in the city.
Thank you for that.
So I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to figure out a quiet way back. Don't know if that can happen and also be safe, but you know how that goes. So I just have to have the conversation tomorrow, but I feel like, I don't know, my response was just I've never been overwhelmed to the point that I was super happy. That's what happened. I was super happy that all these things that I've been trying to teach him, he listened to all of it and he tried to apply it all in one perfect situation. Don't be scared to pick up animals that can't really hurt you. Understand the market. Other people are nice, just treat them with respect. By the way, Spanish. Work hard, all that kind of stuff.
It's a good showing, man. It's a good
God,
showing.
It's awesome.
Yeah, but you got the kid in a foreign environment. He's never done anything like this before. He's just tired.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, you haven't deuced this up, dude. Tomorrow, you're just gonna fist bump over it.
Oh yeah.
This is gonna work out well. It's gonna land on its feet wonderfully.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted to share this with you because obviously it's an amazing moment, and I thought it was great. And you're the guy I call. And I've called you the last couple of nights when you're the last couple of nights I've been walking around this town and we've been processing through the stuff that's been going on in your life, and I was like, I got to share this with you. That's what this is.
This episode of No Dumb Questions is sponsored by HelloFresh, which if you are not using, you should totally do it.
There's a reason this keeps coming up here, and the reason is that the food continues to be delicious. They continue to like what's going on with this podcast, and apparently you continue to like it. So other people who listen really like eating this. If you haven't tried it yet, I think that this is the time that you need to give it a shot. So how's this work, Destin?
Yeah, it's good. They send ingredients to your house. They give you a 6-step recipe card. You can make sauces. If you don't know how to make sauces, you can do that. But did you see the video I made about grain bins?
I most certainly did. That video shouldn't have been good, by the way, but it was spectacular.
Thank you. Well, what I think was most interesting about it is there's this huge step from field to plate. There's a bunch that has to go in between, logistics and planning and all kinds of stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Well, what HelloFresh does is they take the last half, the last whole half of that logistics train, and they do it all for you. And it goes straight to your house. They prepackaged it in the exact amount of the thing that you need, and it shows up and it reduces food waste. It's delicious food. It's easy. It's fun. It's the future. It's the way it's going to happen.
Well, it became our future a couple of years ago, and I felt a little bit guilty watching your video because I was like, man, look at how hard these people have to work and how much thought has to go into just getting this one product, beans, from conception to grown to harvested to a place where I could theoretically buy it. And then I'm sitting over here, and I don't even like to go to the grocery store because there are too many choices, and I don't know what all the things mean. And it's not exactly my wheelhouse. And you're right. In addition to just very good food, the product that HelloFresh provides me that keeps me coming back is they handle all the stuff that I find overwhelming, and then I get to do the part that's fun, which is actually participate in cooking my food and learning things about food.
It's how we've taught our kids how to cook. So, yeah, you should totally try HelloFresh. You will not regret it. What's the promo code that we're telling people?
Well, it goes exactly like this. For $80 off your first month of HelloFresh, go to HelloFresh.com/NDQ80, and then you enter the promo code NDQ80.
I'm going to say that again so people don't forget. So go to HelloFresh.com/NDQ80 and enter the promo code NDQ80 at checkout. And that's $80 off the first month, right?
That's correct. And when you do it, go nuts. Be creative. Order all kinds of things you wouldn't normally order, because We've done stuff that's way outside the box for my very narrow set of tastes, and it's all been good. So part of the fun here is that you get to explore something completely new. I mean, just the very act of signing up for this and then looking at all you could pick from is part of the joy. So don't cheat yourself out of that.
Yeah. Yeah. You get to stretch yourself a little bit. It's awesome. So there you go. HelloFresh.com/NDQ80. Use the promo code NDQ80 at checkout. That's a huge help to the podcast and a huge thank you to HelloFresh for continuing to support No Dumb Questions.
We love this stuff, and I'm really glad to hear that so many of you do as well.
We actually spoke a lot about Nicaragua today with my teacher.
Oh, really? What about?
Yeah, so I'm in this little town, and they're not out right now. It's too late, but there's people that follow you around with whistles, and they just constantly try to sell you a whistle.
It's always something.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was talking to the teacher about it, and she said, okay, well, your assignment right now is to write a letter or an email back home to somebody and tell them what you think about Costa Rica. And my letter was like, it's beautiful, the people are nice, everything. I just hate the whistles. I want the whistles to go away. Just being funny, right? And she got serious and she goes, oh yeah, all the whistle sellers are Nicaraguan. I was like, what? She's like, yeah, the socioeconomic situation in Nicaragua is horrible right now, and we don't have a lot of police at the border. And so there's probably 5 million people in Costa Rica, and about 4 million of those are Costa Rican. And a lot of those people come from other countries, and they try to make money here. And so all these people you see on the streets selling stuff, those are Nicaraguans.
Huh.
And I was like, really? She's like, yeah, verdad. And so it was interesting. It was an interesting thing. This whole experience, the language is one thing, but learning about the different culture is what's most important, I think.
Yeah. Well, and the language is the culture.
It is.
Yeah. Sounds like you're having fun, man.
Yeah. Tomorrow's the last day. So we're on our way back, but yeah, it's been fun. It's been fun just because it's super, super challenging, and the kids have done great, man.
Yeah, well, maybe it's because it's 11 at night and we're having one of those halfway around the world conversations again that always end up being kind of thoughtful and pensive. But you sound good, my friend. You really do. It's
well, you did too. And we had the same conversation last night. Or do you want to address that on the podcast, or do you want to not?
No, I don't mind.
Yeah. So things have changed for you, right?
Yeah. Life with chapters, man.
You officially retired from ministry?
Yeah. I'm not taking another church.
What's the plan?
Well, the plan is, after an entire adult life of doing this, I'm going to continue to do things in the same vein, but I'm not going to do it through a single church. I'm going to try to keep an appropriate and healthy connection with this church as much as that makes sense, or they want me to, from a distance. When pastors get done at a church, they move.
Yeah, can I ask you a question, though? Can I ask you a question?
Cool.
I did notice something. After you told me that you had retired, I went to the website. I was like, man, I really want to hear that Sunday sermon. And it's not there.
Nope.
It's not there on purpose, isn't it?
Yep.
What's up with that? I wanted to hear that. What's the deal there?
I could send you a copy. I have it. Felt like that was an in-house conversation.
Oh, you said a bunch of personal things, I guess.
Yeah, I talked about my family a lot, and I thanked people for stuff that, I don't know. I'm not trying to score points with the internet. Nobody needs to know exactly what things I said, but I had a lot of things I wanted to say thank you for, and felt like that was between me and the people in the room. So, anybody who wasn't there for church that week, we would get them a copy or whatever. But yeah, a lot of what I do ends up being for everybody on the interwebs, and that just wasn't. So it was good. That conversation went great. It was really hard walking up there, man.
Are you good?
I feel amazing, my friend. This is not like moving on from a normal job. I feel like I'm just going to find out a whole bunch of stuff about life and my family and how relationships actually are. I live in a bubble. I'm a pastor. That's a bubble. It's a weird social spot, a really good one and a really important one that I think serves a very valuable role in community and society, but I want to play a slightly different role. And so on the one hand, it was super hard just to walk up the steps to the place where I've had conversations with my friends for 9 years and, do this weird sermon where they start doing the math over the first 10 minutes. Like, wait a minute, he's quitting, isn't he? It was interesting to watch one person at a time kind of figure out what was coming. But even on the walk up there, I was like, I don't have to do this. I could just stay forever and do this forever. But the truth of the matter is, I don't want to stay forever, and I don't want to do this forever. And that has nothing to do with the quality of the church. It has nothing to do with what I believe. It has nothing to do with the quality of the people there. I want to mix it up. I want to take some risks and some chances. I want to talk about harder faith questions on the internet, and I don't know. I don't want that to be an albatross for my church. Moving on from church was overwhelmingly pull factors because I really like writing and publishing and making videos and doing the stuff I do on the internet. And
what do you mean by pull factor?
Pull factor, like when you make a change, or like I first heard this expression with immigration. When people immigrate to another country, there's pull factor and push factor. So if you've got like a giant civil war and everybody leaves the country, that's obviously a push factor. They're not seeking new opportunities. They're fleeing a bad situation. Whereas if you've got, one nation that's got a thriving economy and all kinds of opportunity and low crime that bumps right up against another nation where there's no opportunity and all kinds of crime and corruption, a lot of people are going to go to that country that, that on the surface at least seems like it's doing better, and that would be a pull factor, seeking opportunity. And so
like right now, the bad economic situation in Nicaragua is a push factor for people living there, and the opportunity of selling whistles on the streets in Tamarindo is a pull factor.
Correct. Quiere un silbido.
Ocarina.
Yeah, exactly like that. Wait, what do they call them? They call them ocarinas?
They do, and I totally love that it's a Zelda reference, but I totally act like I don't like it because don't tell anybody, but unless I'm going to buy one. I'm going to buy one.
Yo, boy. You're only going to make one person happy. Better get it right. Choose carefully, brother.
There's this one guy that wears an Angels hat.
He's going to win?
He's going to win. I've seen him 3 times. I saw him on the beach. Tara and I went and we got a casada. Casada in Espanol is marriage, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're married? So here...
una boda is a wedding. Yeah.
So they call the traditional meal here a casada. And the casada is the marriage of rice and beans.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you pay 2,000 colones por una casada, then what you're doing is you're buying a meal with rice, beans, and just a little bit of meat.
Okay.
And so we got our casada and we went to the beach and we found a place without whistles. And about 10 minutes into our meal, a dude with whistles walks up, and it was this guy in the Angels hat. And he was really nice. And I really wanted to buy a whistle from him, but I didn't want to encourage the whistle, so I didn't do it. So last day, we're totally going to do it.
Take that, everybody else who comes after you.
So we just got off a Google Hangout with the lady that's working on the designs for the Winged Hussar pins, what we're going to send every patron of the podcast. And it's amazing. You like it?
Oh, I'm thrilled with it. Yeah, I mean, we've got one more iteration to go. I think we're going to get it on the next iteration. We just need a bigger, angrier horse. And I think we've got this thing.
Yeah, I'm digging it, man. It's going to look awesome. So to catch you up to speed, we're sending an enamel pin to literally every patron of the podcast. But in order to get it, you have to have your address entered into Patreon. We don't care what address it is. Like, it could be your grandma's house or whatever. We just need a way to physically mail you this small enamel pin. And I had a little issue on the Patreon page. Like, I didn't have it where you could enter your address if you were less than the $3 level. I have fixed that. I apologize. So please make sure that you've got that set up, because we are about to, well, what's going to happen when it arrives at people's house though?
I would guess we're pretty close to just punching up the actual production phase of the pin. So there is still time, is the point, if you want to jump in. And also, we did have somebody sign up for the mayonnaise support level, which automatically gets you a fistful of rotten mayonnaise mailed to the address that you enter. So there are ways to weaponize that.
The joke tier?
The joke
tier I entered into. Yeah,
that someone then
hilarious.
immediately signed up for.
Yeah, I know. It's hilarious.
So, Eddie, you're getting mayonnaise.
Anyway, go to patreon.com/NoDumbQuestions. We're about to make the Wing Hussars arrive. It's going to be amazing.
I like the
Thank
way
you so
did
much
that.
for supporting the podcast. This is super huge for us, and it's a privilege to be able to talk to a buddy and do this kind of thing.
We
Thanks.
like you. Thank you.
What if you, so your whole shtick, I'm saying shtick, that's tongue-in-cheek, it's in jest, but your whole shtick is like bringing people together that don't agree, and it's no secret, that's kind of the whole point of this podcast.
Yeah,
what if
and there are worse shticks.
There are worse shticks. What if you did the thing where you helped people see the other side in a good way? Like the whole us-them thing, you help people like break that down. Like if you thought about, for example, the internet, we got all this stuff that I've been researching lately, this coordinated inauthentic behavior, where people are trying to make you get mad at other people.
Right.
Have you thought about doing something where you go to a church at the invitation of someone else and like you give a lesson or something on how to behave on the internet or how to be cool to people that the internet doesn't want you to be cool to?
Yeah. I'd be lying if I didn't admit that I have been formulating that and thinking about what it would look like, or what the right venue would be to go around and be like, hey, here's some stuff that I've learned in my internet travels that might be helpful, because the internet's hard and social media is hard, and it's the easiest. I mean, the default setting of social media, whatever your outlook on life or persuasion is mean, defensive, and tribal. And your favorite people on social media, and think about this right now, your favorite people on social media are not the people who think the same stuff you think. Overwhelmingly, your favorite people are people who don't think the same stuff that you think, but they're just freaking decent. They're all right, and you don't feel like you have to think all of their stuff in order to win their approval, or you never get the impression that if you ever have the wrong thought, they're going to crap all over you. They just seem like nice folks. Those are the people I like on the internet. And when I started, I was like, people are wrong on the internet. I need to go on here and win. And that was like 10 years ago, before I was doing any kind of like make my own stuff. But gradually I figured out, no, I want to be like the nice people I disagree with. They make their point. They're thoughtful. They make me think about stuff, and there's charity to it. And my tribe, Christians, or maybe just theists in general is a better way to describe my tribe. I think there are some people who are really good at that, who I look up to, but I also think there's a lot of folks who feel kind of defensive, and I don't think it's a good look. And I also think it's the kind of thing that just gaming it out together, it could be a lot better. And so, yeah, I have kind of wondered what I might be able to do in this next phase of life to try to help make that better. Is that narcissistic of me to think that I could make that better? That's kind of ambitious.
I just suggested it. No, it's,
okay.
I think it's
Right.
I think it's in your wheelhouse. I think you should consider. You got your website still, 10-Minute Bible Hour, right?
Yeah, thetmbh.com is the easy way to get there, but yeah, the10minutebiblehour.com too.
So on mine, on Smarter Every Day, I have a link that says contact. And if you go in there, I have a bunch of different buttons for ways, like if someone wants me to do a topic on something, there's a certain button to click. If someone wants me to, come visit and speak somewhere.
Okay.
You should do that. You should have a button that's like, come preach at my church. I think it's good and bad, right? Because people are going to want you to just do it for free because it's preaching at a church, right? How do they do that?
Did I mention I don't have a job anymore?
how do pastors do that?
How do they do it when they go and speak?
Yeah. Did you ever invite people to your church?
Yeah, we pay them an honorarium. Yeah, we just had a budget, and we just pay people when they came and filled in.
Cool. Put it on your website.
I do what I want. And it just so happens that I want to do exactly the thing you just suggested in exactly the manner you suggested.
You get, and it needs to, like, when you click it, it makes a fart sound.
Well, that would make it stronger.
Just so people know what they're getting into.
And that's important.
I think it'll work. What's the plan? You said you have to leave. Pastors have to leave town. What's the deal?
Right now, it looks like we've got where we're going figured out. We put a lot of thought into that. I'm not quite ready to say where that is yet because, there's still I's to be dotted and T's to be crossed.
You told me the short list.
Yeah, I'll tell you the short list. The short list was some kind of mix of part-time in New Mexico, Colorado, Wyoming, South Dakota, and then just because I like hanging out with you, part-time in Alabama. And so
come out here,
we're
dude.
closing.
I say here. I'm in freaking Costa Rica, man. I'm not.
I was gonna say, like, I go that way a lot. I invited you to Nicaragua. Yeah, I'm into that.
No,
but you mean Alabama?
Yeah, you should go to Alabama.
Well, yeah, I like Alabama. I don't think I can do Alabama all year round. I think I am the West, and the West is me.
Oh,
but
come on!
Really,
we could do this in person.
You know what you ought to do?
What should I do?
You ought to move to the West and live in the mountains at 6,000 or 7,000 feet and fish with me all the time. Then we could do this in person. See what I'm saying?
I'm in. Let's go.
Really? You're gonna move to the West right now? You're gonna go home. You're gonna pack up your family and just move here.
You think I could sell crabs on the beach there?
No, we don't have crabs. I mean, we have certain types of crabs, but not the kind of crabs you can sell.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I think what we want to do is be really smart about where our home base is going to be. Somewhere that kind of scratches the itch of just who we are as people, culturally and in terms of geography, but then also be in a place where we have a flexible home and we can kind of move around a little bit and take my work with me. I mean, if I'm writing and making stuff, that gives us the opportunity to visit people we care about and get stuff done.
Hey, real quick, how do I say I'm walking around how do you say I'm talking on the telephone to my friend? So, llamar.
Ahora yo hablo en teléfono con mi amigo. Are people trying to talk to you?
No. I just want to make sure I get it right if I need it.
Okay. Yeah.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Yeah. That works.
Lo siento. Estoy en teléfono.
No, I was just reading body language and I was being weird and I was like looking at a pile of trash as you were telling me the future of your life. And I turned around and there's 3 dudes with their hands on their hips looking at me and I'm like, oh yeah, I look stupid and suspicious.
Yeah.
I'm the weird stupid one here. My bad.
I'm on a thoughtful pensive walk.
That's it. My arms are literally on my hips. Yeah, I get it. You're not going to move here or Alabama.
What about some of the time? Like, will you take some of the time? What if I just do some of the time?
Let's do it.
Yeah, I think that sounds great. Work on stuff together.
You being serious?
Well, yeah. I mean, we've talked about this, like Camilla and I.
Yeah, but
the
like I talk to you, change your mind every day.
So, really? Has it been every day? I mean, on something, everyone changes their mind on something every day. Well,
I don't know.
Gosh, man, it's kind of a big question. It's sort of hard. I mean, here are a couple of things that I've been considering as factors. How my kids will turn out as humans. What we're going to do about church. Like, have you ever thought about this? What would it be like to have done what I've done and then just be like, I'm just going to go to church now? Also, what would it be like to do what I do on the internet? I go around and visit people's churches and then I make videos about it that people watch. Now I go to your church. You better deliver, pal. Like, wherever I go, I want people to feel like totally at ease and happy that the question of where we're going to go to church it's not an easy one. So no, there's just a bajillion things that are all factors. And if it seems like I'm processing that, it's because there are a small collection of people in my life who I enormously trust and respect, and I like to bounce ideas off of them, which could give the impression to a less well-developed socially person that I'm changing my mind every single day, when in fact what I'm doing is leaning on my friend in a difficult time to sort through hard questions.
Criticism accepted, and I'm just giving you a hard time.
I do, and I'm just hitting the tennis ball back.
Yeah, I know.
Just a tiny bit harder. Here's what matters. I'm excited. I like the church I've been a part of. The next thing's going to be really cool. I hope I do get to go around and do things that I just haven't had the opportunity to do with religious people and not religious people, and churches and not churches. And most of all, how is your beard coming along?
Yeah, it's my wife's being very patient. It's all right. I don't have a good beard. I just don't. But
you have parts of a good beard.
I do have parts of a good beard. Like if you could take the best parts of each side and then symmetricize them, it would be a decent beard. But it's just not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
there's a lot of.
It's very red. I mean,
I know,
it's like
man.
Pirate red.
I want to apply with Brady Heron to the Ginger Club. I sent him a tweet.
You absolutely qualify.
Well, he said it's an invitation-only club, and
what do we need to do?
I think the guy just asked me because I had wires coming off of me if I was wired to explode. I think that's what he said. I'm not 100%.
I didn't catch it, but let's go with that.
Yeah. So I just heard the word explode. So what did you say? I'm sorry.
No, I don't see how you can be denied entry. That's as red a beard as I've ever seen.
Yeah,
as red of beard components as I've ever seen.
I put on sunscreen today, and my wife laughed at me. She said I look like a leprechaun because my face was so white and my beard was so red.
Maybe a little.
It's awful. It needs to go. It's going to go before I get back to the States, I think. How do you make
the point is now you know.
How do you make yeah, exactly. I have to try every year. How do you make a beard go away? Because you can't just like get the normal razor out and cut it.
No, you take that down with clippers. If you want to make it go away, depending on thickness. Like if I were to take mine down now, I wouldn't start with a 1 guard. I'd start with like a 3.
Okay.
3 is what I groom with. I'd start with a 2. And then you work that down to like a 1, and then you take it down to the skin, and then you shave.
I should be grooming? No, I don't have enough to groom yet, do I?
You'd be surprised how much better it would look if you took like a 1.5 guard, pointed it straight down, and just went straight down. It'll feel like you're taking almost nothing off, but it gets all the stuff that isn't pointing the right direction or that is too long. It'll really even it out. You should run like a 1.5 over everything. Straight down. Don't go around the jaw or curve down. Just go straight down and just see what you get.
I'll totally do that.
Yeah, it gives the weak stuff time to catch up.
Oh, got it.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do.
Like, you're kind of a rookie at places there should be hair, but there aren't. I'm a little more experienced in places there should be hair, but there isn't. So I'm here to help.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I know we're goofing around, and I know I called you in the middle of, who knows what your life was doing, and I wanted to tell you the crab story. But
I like the crab story, and thanks for being willing to go down the other rabbit hole too.
No, I was just gonna say, what just happened in your life is gigantic, freaking enormous, dude.
It is.
It's huge, and I suspect we will be on the phone quite a bit. Well, please, if I can be a sounding board at all, you know the deal.
Yeah, I do know. Thanks for saying it again. And dead honest truth, I need it. It's meant a lot so far. I'm weirdly in the process of simultaneously grieving deeply and also being really excited. And that's a weird place to be. I mean, it's hard to go and talk with people you love and be like, I'm really excited and I'm sad. Is that weird? Because it is weird. Because nobody made me quit. I don't need to quit. Things are going great. I just want to. I want to make a change.
When I flip to a different chapter, there's a white lizard. When I flipped to a different chapter, the most freeing thing for me was the fact that I didn't have to be at a 7:30 meeting on Monday morning. And that made me feel lighter.
Mm-hmm.
And it, like, my whole goal was to invest enough time in my kids to make them think very complex things. And frankly, I think that it has a lot to do with why the situation that happened tonight happened. I've been investing a lot of time. And so But that idea that I had free energy at that moment in time and I could apply that in any direction I wanted to, it was freeing to me. Of course, I filled it up instantly. So one thing I did wrong is I took all that free time and immediately filled it up. So
yeah, but we've been talking about that too. Like,
yeah,
thanks for including me in that conversation. I care about you, and you run hard, and you do fill all of that up. And maybe it's just a couple extra years I have on you, but I'm a firm believer in don't fill it all up. Just let some of it sit. Who cares what happens with it?
Is that what you're going to do?
I'm going to study some weird things I've never studied before, and
like what?
Formally jump in with some classes. I got ideas. I'll tell you more about that. Let me formulate it a little bit more so I don't get accused of changing my mind every day. But
I'm sorry.
No, I have you're fine. I'm just hitting the tennis ball back even harder. Yeah, there are some opportunities to study some stuff in a couple of these places I'm looking at that is way outside the boundaries of what I've done in the past. But I kind of like to go back and pick up some of the things that I really liked when I was an 18-year-old kid and I got forced into a situation where I needed to pick something, and I picked humanities. And I love that, but I kind of like to fill in some of those knowledge gaps in some other subjects, and so I'm working on a plan to do that. Like, my ideal thing would be I get a place, you plug in with a church, I plug in with a community, but I work on my place. I learn to do stuff on engines. I like construction things, but I don't know a lot about mechanical things, and I'd like to. And so I hope someday I'm out there, I'm working on that. I got on one of those maybe white tank tops, and then maybe I'm cleaning off some kind of greasy wrench, and then a couple of dark SUVs pull in the driveway out at my place. And out come a couple people from like the home office of the Evangelical Free Church of America, and I tell the kids to go inside. I walk over real slow, and they say my first name, and I say their first name real suspicious like, and they're like, "We have a job," and I'm like, "I'm past that now," and they're like, "It's just one more job," and I'm like, I don't do that anymore. That's behind me now. And then they have some kind of like leverage on me legally, or like maybe my family member's in trouble or something. And I ended up getting roped in for like some crazy thing where I have to go and like help out with some theological deal at a conference or something, and then maybe like my cousin doesn't go to prison. I don't know, something like that. But then it turns out they were corrupt all along, and we end up in like some kind of giant fight or something. And all I want is just to be left alone in the country, and then in the end I am able to achieve that life. That's how I hope it works out.
Kind of like Cincinnatus?
Maybe kind of like that, or kind of like the plot of Shooter with Mark Wahlberg. But with
Did you see how he used... Oh, wow. A big wind just came up. Did you see how he made a suppressor out of like a 2-liter Coke bottle in that movie and shot a dude out of the canoe?
I most certainly did see that.
That was rad.
I also saw how they employed every single cliche about everything. We need Jimmy Lee Swagger. Bobby Lee Swagger. His name's Bobby Lee Swagger. We need Bobby Lee Swagger. You know who we need. He's the best. Yeah, he's a loose cannon. That guy's dangerous. But nobody else can do the job. Fine, Colonel. But this is your only... it's the drug stopper. It's basically...
Yeah, it is.
The Drug Stopper and Shooter are the same movie. And My Future is also the same movie. And I
it's
think
a good movie. I like
it. Yeah, but in order to do that, I have to know how to work on a tractor. So that's
in order to do that. Oh, so the part that the tractor plays in said plot is the place where you're going to be when they walk up or drive up in the black SUVs.
Yeah, and it symbolizes simplicity, a simpler life, and them robbing me of that when they drive up in the black SUVs to get me to go and attend a simple theology conference. I haven't thought through that part of the story very well yet.
Yeah, that's not the important part. The important part is the tractor at this point.
Yeah, and me shooing the family back inside. Yeah, those are the things that are important. Because who knows what those monsters are going to do.
Oh, dude. Hold on. Just, let's see. Let me see if I can figure out how to do. I can't do this. A buddy of mine, he wrote us a brief skit for a short film that needs to be made. I am under blood oath covenant to not repeat this skit to you, but yeah. You're gonna hear it at some point. I'm gonna have him read it to you.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
well, I shared my best movie idea with you, and we can't say that one on microphones either. So I get
no,
it.
we can't. Yeah, totally. I'm pumped for you, man. I think.
Thanks.
Yeah, put the thing on your website, and
Okay.
looking forward to hearing all the big plans and everything.
Looking forward to having all the big plans clarified.
Can I make it weird for a minute?
I
How long
mean,
have we known
it's
each
weird that
other?
You're asking permission.
Yeah. How long have we known each other?
4 or 5 years, something like that.
Yeah, 4 or 5 years. I feel like you kind of just ran a big marathon, and I got to watch. And you're kind of crossing the finish line, and that's what people do. People run the marathon to get to the finish line, but at the end, I don't know. I just don't feel like it's the end. I feel like you're training for something else now. But yeah. If nobody's told you, I'm sure Camilla has. But I'm proud of you for doing all that, and I'm proud of you for having the balls to do Bible on the internet, which is something that the internet says that you're not allowed to do. Yeah.
Thank you.
Proud of you for all that.
That means a lot, man. Thank you.
So cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
You good?
That is cool. I'm good. Yeah. Yep. I'm great. you thought I felt emotions. I don't do that. I'm fine.
It doesn't happen. So
It's
anyway,
not my thing. Thank you for saying that stuff, and thanks for stepping outside of your world to understand something that might not seem like that big a deal, but when you're in it, it feels like a really big deal. I'm sad and I'm excited.
what do you mean? It's the biggest. It's the biggest of deals.
Yeah.
It's talking about other people. Yeah, that's other people. Cool. All right, we're not gonna get better than that.
No. There's your winner.
We just
right
hang
there.
up.
I'm gonna play that little music or whatever. That sounds good. All right, my
All right.
friend. Hey,
I'm gonna go learn some more
enjoy
Spanish.
what's left of Latin America. I'll catch you on the other side.
Yeah, dude. Bye.
All right. See you, buddy.